Good morning, everybody. Hello. Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me. Congratulations if you have listened in to all these 8 attributes. Well done, you. That shows tenacity. That in itself, my friend, shows the correct spirit of a fighter. You are determined to be that brilliant coach, that world-class fighter. You got what it takes, my friend. So there is a knife. There is a knife. And I'll tell you what, the first person that guesses it puts a comment here on YouTube on this post, the 8th attribute, the first one, right? The first one we receive saying it is, we'll swap emails or even phone numbers, it doesn't matter. And we will send you a performance top. Doesn't matter whether you live in Africa, Egypt, Australia, Iceland, Germany, UK, England, right local to where we live on the southwest coast. It doesn't matter. You will get that performance top. Okay? Trust us. You'll get it. You'll get it. And also, it demonstrates your knowledge of the fight game. Okay, so brilliant. Just want to flag up yesterday. I'll tell you what I've been doing. I've been following a ketogenic, quite an aggressive ketogenic diet. I'm 60 years old now, and I seem to have picked up diabetes type 2. I'm 6'1", 14 stone, right? So I'm not overweight. I've had diabetic nurses and GPs. How is it? How is it? It came on, really, I believe, when I'd kind of like, really, I think I was beginning to struggle. Because when your body suffers from stress, I was a walking postman, right? And I would rush round that route to get it done and get it finished. I'd come back home. When I was living back with mum and dad, I was only 19. Still a little teenager, whippersnapper. Anyway, I'd come home, mum would say, right, do you want something to eat? I said, just please. Quick shower, out the door, straight up at King's Cross, St Pancras, which I used to live in Surrey, in a little village called Claygate. So I used to plough up there to Waterloo, get off at Waterloo, off on the underground to do my training. I did that 3 times a week. Private tuition. So I really was getting quite good at it, and I was knocking them out because of my boxing career. They was all like this, like traditional class, going bang straight over the top, left hook. So I was had a quite good left hook. And I've been following this carnivore diet, right, where you just eat red meat. And you might think, whoa, actually it's all right. But if you're getting ground beef, you can make all these beautiful, lovely meatballs. You can make burger patties. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And my carbohydrate intake is under 20 grams. So today we receive via Amazon, because it is a Sunday, our ketogenic keto sticks. And basically you piss on them, and the brightness of pinkness denotes where you're at in that keto cycle, right? If it's bright purple, you are deep in ketosis. If it's slight tinge of pink, it's beginning. And yesterday I felt fucking rough. I had the keto flu, but it couldn't be the keto, like a flu. I had the same flu symptoms because today I am buzzing. So there's something in it. Anyway, let's crack on with this 8th attribute, which is skills training. I've made some notes here. Skills training. The most important attribute of them all. Without a strong spirit, you're fucked, basically. One punch on the jaw and you're going down. You've got to have that spit the bottom. I'm getting better. So you put me down. All right, let's go. Strong spirit, mentally strong. You've got to have that. You've got to have that. But you've got to have skills training. If you have not got skills training, if you have not got skills, boxing skills, who are you? Who are you? Any decent animal would take you to pieces. A professional, definitely. My boxing coach, he used to say to me, it was very, the Foley ABC down in Claygate, was very much an old school training, converted barn. It was spit and sawdust, and it was very much old school. You know, and he used to say to me, you want to know the difference? Then, I think it's a bit different now, but then he would say, do you want to know the difference between an amateur boxer and a pro boxer, Cliff? This was the time when Hagler was fighting Hearns, Hagler was fighting Leonard, Muhammad Ali was still fighting, that type of era. No, Dennis, I don't know. No. Amateur is about scoring, professional is about destruction. Destruction. If you haven't got skills, and you come up against a competent fighter that can use their legs, use their feet to get in and out of trouble, they'll take you to pieces. I remember I went to Leighton to do a course, a seminar, one-day seminar. It was slanted towards self-defense, that's all I would say. And we were getting warmed up and we did this drill whereby you're touching the shoulder or you're touching the knees. There was a lot of weight disparity. There was big, heavy guys. There was tall guys. There was one petite little female. So you can't glove up and you can't spar, can you? To be fair, can you? It wouldn't be fair, 17 stone guy to fight a 7 stone petite female, would it? Let's be fair. So you have to make do with this touch thing. Anyway, I couldn't. I, as we say, sparred, as it were, with Fatima. Her name is. I couldn't touch her. She was they're almost like this sort of. There's something what they call ghost fighting, and she was creating a distance between me that I just could not fathom out. My style of fighting was always go forward with aggression and fitness, wear the person down, and then stop them, basically. This was finesse. This was pure skills. And this is what I say. We've correlated these 8 attributes into what is known as a Venn, V-E-N, Venn diagram. So they all amalgamate together. You can't have one without the other. If you have one, it's like a pack of cards. It'll all come tumbling down. It'll all come tumbling down. So you've got to have everything. You've got to have everything. specifically skills training, specifically out your skills training, sparring. You've got to do the sparring. And in some cases, it can be lively sparring. Lively sparring. Whenever I fought, specifically, my mate, I used to dread it. David Quinnan. On a Sunday morning, I thought, nah, please. I've been in with Gary Tilley and Champ Eastwood, who's now a giant. Done all the sparring, Clifford Eastwood. These are all travelling boys. David wasn't a traveller, but there was a lot of travellers that used to go to this club. Anyway, and we bred national champions, by the way. Not just one, several. So it was a good club. It was a good club. Didn't like the way that they just trained, put their attention to the champs and everyone else on your way sort of thing. I was in that on your way sort of thing. So I thought determination, ruggedness, get in and hurt the person. And that's what our sparring sessions became. Almost out and out wars. On a Sunday morning, we'd start training at 11 and then they'd all drift in. All the traveller parents would drift in because the stables was behind a pub. They'd all come in, all park up, adequate parking. You just fight my boy like this and all that. Would, he used to fight. The ring was downstairs, the barn doors were wide open, so they'd all be standing in the car park, around the car park, just watching. And it was lively sparring. But it's part of skills training. It's part of skills training, and it's very, very, very extremely necessary. I've said before, almost 80%. But you've got to have these other attributes. You've got to have a good chin. You've got to possess a power punch. You've got to have a tough mental state. You've got to perform intelligent, correct strength training. You've got to have a strong spirit, which is not you, which is a strong spirit which you possess from your faith. Which my faith is Christianity, the Lord Jesus Christ, which I believe is the only way. You've got to have excellent reactive speed. If you feel like you're walking through treacle and a punch comes, punch coming. Well, slip it then. Roll it then. Block it then. Move out of the way with your feet. Reactive speed strength. Road work. You've got to have that, like we said yesterday. And it's all underpinned by excellent boxing skills. There's something that cements it all together that I'll tell you about tomorrow, or somebody else will tell me. And the first one that tells me, that puts it on YouTube, will get a performance top. Promise you. You've got to have your skills training. So, okay, how do you do that then, Cliff? Are you just some pontified, glorified fitness trainer? No. I had 49 fights, mate. I lost a few. I got them back on returns. Johnny Elliott, I fought at our own dinner show at Sandown Park. It was a switch hitter. Switch hitter was old Elliott, and he was switching around. And everyone in the crowd thought I got that decision. Everyone. But I lost it, majority. I said to the matchmaker, a guy called Keith Tuffin, I want him back. I just want him back. First opportunity. He said, well, they've got a show coming up in the next 3 to 4 weeks, I think, down in Petworth Street, Battersea Boys Club, Battersea Youth Club. Want it? I said, get it arranged, get it arranged. This time I've turned up at hit on his manor. If you know Battersea Petworth Street, he was in amongst all tower blocks and everything. It was just me, Darren Everett, and I think a travelling lad. I'm not sure. I think it might have been Cliff Eastwood. Came with us, just three of us in the van, and we drove over from Claygate to Battersea. And I thought, I'm so cross, I'm so wound up, I'm so pent up. We trained for it. This time, Dennis Everett has said to me, show him, feint the left, moving around, away, just move around to the I'm getting it right, the left. When he switches, show him this. When he shoots, bang, hits him with this, round the side with the hook, then downstairs into the break box. And I did this, and I duffed this kid up. But I'll give him credit, old Johnny Elliott. He came back at me in the third round, and that crowd, they threw in the dobbins, whatever they call it, when they was allowed to do that. All the pennies, little pennies and all that. So I understand boxing. It doesn't mean I'm Angelo Dundee, world-class boxing coach. And neither do I want to aspire. I'm not trying to wheedle my way cleverly in. My business is sports apparel business. But I do know a little bit about boxing. I think my L plates are off or down. I've done my apprenticeship in pain, blood, sweat and tears. So I can say about boxing. I was listening to somebody on YouTube, an ex-boxer, pro boxer, now coach. And I respect a guy, I like a guy. I think he's been an incredible amateur, incredible professional. And people should listen to what he has to say. But when he talks about a ton-up circuit, sorry, he's misinformed. He's misinformed. Yes, burpees, press-ups, dorsal raise, sit-up with a twist, tuck jumps, squat front, thrust, star jumps. All of that, running on the spot, all of that is not bad. But what happens when you can cope with the ton-up? Whether it's 30 seconds at each station, continually going around on a circuit, whether it's 30 seconds each station, whereby after you've completed the 10, you have a rest, so it's more interval training, whether you do 10 of each, 10 of burpees, 10 of squat thrusts, 10 of press-ups, 10 of dorsal raise, 10 of sit-ups with a quick twist, 10 of restless bridge. You know what I mean? You will be able to cope with it. Look at these Marine commandos. 36 weeks. They turn them from a puny little civilian into a fighting force. How do they do that? Through progressive fitness. So obviously you do have to have a certain fitness level before you get in there. But you get what I'm trying to say? There's things that when they do their 30 miler across, I think it's a Dartmoor, yeah, in week one, they'd never do it. Never cope with it. But at the end of their training, a small percentage do, and a small percentage pass out. So it is the same with whether it's the amateur or the professional doing this ton up training, you will become accommodated to it. It will get easy for you, and then it is rendered useless if you're trying to enhance your endurance and your strength. You'll get to a certain level, and then that'll be it. It'll just level out. You want to be going up, 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 up. Fight time, rest time, down, up, 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 up. If you're allowed to, fight time, down and up. Same with a professional. Peak, get to the peak, and then on you go. But you ain't gonna get it. You are not gonna achieve it if the ton up becomes easy, are you? And it will. And it does. And it has for me. So I can tell you, it does get easier. What you need is progressive skills training. You need specific boxing skills training designed in its own ton up. We talked about the strength training earlier this week. That's done and dusted. You've done that. You've got that. You don't need to start re-going over strength training. Leave it alone. You've done your strength training. You've done your road work, your hill sprints. You've got all of that. You've got the second win. You've got it. Now we've got to do skills training, which you'll be doing quite frequently during a training week. Here's the ton up I have put together. And I'm telling you something. You could fit these bits of equipment in to a smaller boxing gym. If you've got 10, let's take it into the perspective of a small amateur club. A small amateur club. So let's suppose you've got a dozen fighters on the Sunday turn up. You'll have a couple in there doing their sparring first thing when they turn up, right? The others go up and perform this ton up boxing skills session. I'm going to leave you to decide whether you should do it in interval training or circuit training. So here we go. Number 1, 30 seconds heavy bag. Number 2, 30 seconds cobra bag. Number 3, pads on with the coach. Number 4, 30 seconds wrecking ball. Number 5, 30 seconds shadow boxing. Number 6, platform speedball. Number 7, 30 seconds uppercut bag. Number 8, 30 seconds slip bag. Number 9, 30 seconds angled bag. And number 10, double end bag. 30 seconds double end bag. We would say repeat for 4 times. Repeat for 4 times. So that's going to take you around 20 odd minutes, which is fuck all for a boxing, holistic, complete boxing session, is it? You're the amateur. You've jogged there, okay, to the gym. You've either done your sparring first or you do your sparring last thing. Then you jog and sprint home. Taking great care when you sprint. Taking great care. You'll know your routes. You'll know where you're safest. That's your responsibility, not mine. I've told you to take care when sprinting, especially in the dark. So, you know, I mean, it's all there. My goodness me, within 40 minutes, you can have such productive training, sparring and boxing skills training. There's no need to do hundreds of thousands of press-ups. There's no need to do dorsal raise. There's no need to do tuck jumps, burpees, squat thrusts, star jumps. There's no need to do that. It's time wasting, energy sapping, and actually could be counterproductive. You don't need it. You say, yeah, but what about strength then? What about endurance then? What about it? For strength, what do you want? To be able to pick up 100 kilos and put it over your head? Does that make you strong? Well, yeah. But it's a demonstration of strength. What type of strength do you want? You want to have the strength where you can be able to punch hard and fast. Speed is power, and power is speed. But you've got to have the foundation of strength. When you're doing your strength training, you should apply progressive weight training. I dig it, right? You're in the amateur club, you ain't got a lot of room. You can't have it like a frigging powerlifting gym, can you? Or bodybuilding gym or whatever, can you? You can't, because your space is precious. Your space is precious. But, you know, I mean, an uppercut bag, for example, could be mounted so it's up against the wall. Your platform speed ball, up against the wall. The pads man can take you somewhere where there's a little bit of space where you can have it. You know, shadow boxing, the same. Cobra bag, you know, I mean, you can, with limited space, get these bits of kit in. And if you want to breed champions, amateurs, we haven't even mentioned about professionals. This should be a given. This should be an absolute given. If it isn't, and you're running out of space, you think, well, you're in the wrong frigging boxing premises, aren't you? And you need to go and look somewhere else, or you need to get old equipment out to get this in. But use your boxing head, coaches. Use it. Design it. Think about it. You can get these bits of equipment in there. I'm telling you, you can. For strength and power, there's got to be speed. There's got to be speed. Forget about the endurance side for a bit. We'll come back to that. Park that for a bit. You've got to have strength. So you've got to have speed. How on earth are you going to develop speed? How on earth are you going to develop speed? When you peaked on this circuit, calisthenics, press-ups, push-ups, all that type of thing, circuit, you won't get it. You've got to do slow, controlled strength training to get into those muscle fibers. First, the slow endurance muscles first. Second, the fast twitch fibers. And third, one where you get the Usain Bolt on your mark, set, the explosive type 2B muscle fibers. As your muscle, if you're doing a bicep curl, for example, as your muscles fatigue, it will go through. It's known as the Henneman's size principle. It's physiological. You cannot say, no, it ain't, because I'm old school. It ain't. You can't say that. Because if you're training to failure, it will do that. It will fatigue slow, fast twitch, then fast 2 type 2. Now you've got to think. This is a punch, isn't it? This is a punch mechanism. Yeah, you're turning into it and using your torso. Yeah, you're pendulum stepping in and using your feet to pivot, and using your feet to pivot out and twisting and all that. But ultimately, the core, which is your neck and back and chest and stomach and abdomen and your hips, is more stability. Yes, your rotational strength, we know about that one. But it's predominantly this, how quickly you can do this. So you've got to have the muscles that will move this to be strong. You've got to have the muscles in the front anterior deltoid. You've got to have the muscles in the back of the tricep. You've got to have the muscle to pull it back, reactional speed in the biceps, to be strong. And like I said, what gets you strong? Power. What gets you powerful? Think of Usain Bolt. Speed. What gets you speed? Correct, progressive strength training. And that is normally where you can up the weights. How do you do it? How do you achieve this? I don't know. We've got to either have some weights at home or go preferably to a very decent commercial gym. As part of your holistic training schedule. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, you have. Oh, yes, you have. You can do too much skills training. Skills training Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, back Mondays. You've got to have a foundation. I've said it before. If your foundation is built on sand, your house will just crumple. If it's built on rock, it's going to be solid. And that's where your strength training comes in. Your endurance, which I said I was going to talk about a few moments ago, that predominantly comes from hill sprinting and performing these ton-up boxing skills sessions. These ton-up heavy bag, cobra bag, pads, wrecking ball, shadow boxing. And I'm telling you, if you can follow these 8 attributes, you'll become a red hot boxing trainer. And I ain't no paper tiger. I've never been a professional fighter. I could have gone. There was offers on the table. There were scouts watching me fight, and they would say, "You'd make a good professional." I don't know. I passed it by because I thought other people were saying that were in the boxing and fucking hard sport. What you see on the telly is a creme de la creme de la creme. A lot are just knackered now. And actually a lot of world-class professional fighters are like that. I know my boxing, I know my onions. I might not fuck all about anything else. I might be as thick as 2 short planks under the bonnet of a car. Wallpapering. But I do know a little about boxing. Right, so where do we go from here? Get on to our e-commerce site. I'll put the link down there at trainwellboxing.com. Get on to our test. Trainwell Extreme Strength Training. It's free of charge, right? Free of charge. Don't pay us nothing. But the quality of it, perhaps I should charge. Perhaps I should. Would you listen to me more if I said it was $29.99 to buy it? Or $129.99 to buy it? Would you listen? Would you listen? I am not like that. I want to give you a gift that you can take away and look at. If you think it's a crock of shit, you just throw it away, don't you? That's all you got to do. And never darken my door again. Never follow me again. Ever. If you think I'm a total idiot, well, that's up to you, isn't it? But what you will get in test is second to none. Okay? I think I've been going on long enough. So tomorrow, remember that? Remember that that competition. You guess it right, and you're the first one to guess it right. We'll send you a performance top. Promise you, we will. Okay. So I'll put all the links down below for you. Have a lovely Sunday. And this is Cliff Graves. Excuse me. I'll speak to you again tomorrow. Ciao for now. Bye.